they want to know if they're even or odd, okay? And so I'm going to do like tangent's easy because that's in your calculator. So if I pull up tangent, if it's even, so let's clear this out. If tangent is even, then what happens is you have symmetry across the y-axis. And if it's odd, you have symmetry across the origin. And if you don't have either one of those, then you have neither. Did I spell it wrong again? Yeah.
What are you trying to spell?
Does that look right? That doesn't look right.
Neither is EI.
I had it right.
Oh, I just saw the T, so I was like, what is ignite?
I had it right. I'm so used to like autocorrect and spell check. All right, so let's do tangent for. Shh. Pay attention. Let's do tangent first, okay? So if I graph this, that's what tangent looks like on your calculator. It doesn't make much sense. But what we're really looking for, remember that an even function f of x is equal to f of negative x. In other words, the positive x value will be the same as the negative x value. So this is negative 1.557, right? So I've got negative 1 here, negative 1.557. Over here, when I go to positive, I've got positive 1.557. So it's not even, but it is odd, because odd, if you have f of x, that's equal to the negative of f of negative x, right? So what does that mean? Well, I've got a positive 1 here, positive 1.55, but if I come over here, I have negative 1, negative 1.55. So we know that tangent is an odd function. Now the problem with graphing some of these functions is I don't have a secant button on this calculator.
So don't you just do 1 over cosine?
Let's try it and see. So the suggestion is we know that secant is equal to 1 over cosine of x. Now we're going to run into some problems here because there's times when cosine equals 0. When that occurs, that means that the function's undefined there and we have asymptotes and stuff like that. But let's just graph it and see what the numbers say, okay? So if I clear this out and I say 1 over secant is cosine of x, and then I'm really just going to look at the table of values. Well, looky here. When I have a negative x, or x equals negative 1, I've got 1.85, but when I come and I have x equals positive 1, again, it's the same value. I want to check more than one value just to make sure, okay? So I'm going to, oops, I got to come back over here. I'm going to come up here, and every value, see, like this is when x equals negative 2, my corresponding y value is negative 2.4.
Bless you.
When I have a positive 2 for x, I still have a negative 2.4. So what is secant?
It's even.
It's even. Now that kind of makes sense, right? Because the cosine function is an even function, and since secant is the reciprocal of that, in other words, if cosine is symmetrical about the y-axis and cosecant is just the reciprocal of it, or secant is the reciprocal of it, then it would make sense that that would be an even function as well, right? You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you look at this graph, and then if I come in here and I actually graph cosine, see, this is cosine, the wavy function, and then if you take that wave and flip it upside down, that's the secant function. And you can see that it's symmetrical, right, about the y-axis. And that's what an even function is. Now let's do cosecant. Let's try to guess this one by plugging in its reciprocal, which is sine of x. And, whoops. So let's plug in sine of x first, and you guys tell me what you think. Someday I'll do it, right?
What is your Windows set to?
Just standard. So now if I graph this, is that symmetrical about the y-axis?
No.
Does it seem like it might be symmetrical about the origin?
No, yeah, no.
It is.
Wait, why? It's like flipped.
Yeah, but it's like flipped twice, right?
So does that count?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. So one thing we can do, if we can't figure it's easy to tell when something's even. It's really hard to tell when it's odd. So we could always look at the table of values, right? So when I plug in -3, I get negative 0.14. When I plug in positive 3, I get a positive 0.14. That makes it an odd function, right? So then the reciprocal of that should be odd as well. What do you guys think?
No.
Not necessarily. We don't know. Let's check. Right? That's what we're doing. So I'm gonna graph that. Right? We can make that assumption, but I don't know. Let's see. Actually, I do know, but we're gonna jump through the hoops anyways. Oh, that's confusing. Now is that symmetrical about the origin?
I don't know. I can't really see.
No.
Let's see. Let's look at the table of values, shall we? All right. -1. Oops. Come on, you silly thing. -1 yields. So when x is -1, my y value is -0.8.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's an odd function, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll let you guys do cotangent. What do you think cotangent would be, though? If tangent's odd,
It's gonna be
odd. Okay, good job. See you later. Bye.
Aren't cosine and